Hi, I'm Renee Brown. I'm going to be speaking about how to write an abstract, especially one that is effective when proposing a presentation for a SWCA conference. I'm going to ask you to think about this as a back of the book summary. So if the back of Harry Potter read, there's a boy who is in a magical world. He goes to school and encounters trouble. Then he goes on some adventures with friends. After reading Harry Potter, you will leave knowing more about this topic. I'm going to go ahead and assume that it would not have been the bestseller that it is. So the back of the book is what sells it for the reader, and that's kind of what an abstract does. It's going to sell your presentation to your audience. So this is what the back of Harry Potter actually says. Harry Potter has never been the star of a Quidditch team, scoring points while riding a broom far above the ground. He knows no spells, has never helped to hatch a dragon, and has never worn a cloak of invisibility. All he knows is a miserable life with the Dursleys, his horrible aunt and uncle, and their abominable son Dudley. A great big, swollen, spoiled bully. But all that is about to change when a mysterious letter arrives, an invitation to an incredible place. It's there that he finds not only friends and magic, but a great destiny that's been waiting for him, if Harry can survive the encounter. So this is a great back of the book for many reasons. We have an element of mystery. It's really clear what the conflict is, and it's very dramatic. The back of the book also provides hope for the character and leaves us with a cliffhanger. Now, your abstract isn't going to have these elements, but it should have something very similar that's going to compel the audience to watch your presentation over other presentations. So we're going to think about your abstract not so much as a summary of your presentation, but as a back of the book that's going to sell it. So let's think about what your abstract must have. It must be clear what the general topic is that you'll be discussing, but you really want to start thinking about the descriptors you're using and how you're hooking your audience, just as the back of the book is going to hook the reader. You want to make sure it's really clear what makes your presentation different from everyone else doing that topic. What will the audience learn, take away, or gain that's practical? You want to be careful when you're using questions, hyperbole, and cliche. These are only used effectively if they're driving forward your content. If they're not used effectively, they actually deter people from watching your presentation. So if you're not sure how to use them, you might want to avoid them. The length of your abstract should be between 40 and 100 words. So if we think about this and all the things that you're going to include in your abstract, if you can do this, people are going to look at all the presentations and say, even though there are a whole bunch about the same topic, they want to watch yours because of how you hooked them in, because of what you're offering that other people aren't. So you have a maximum of 100 words to grab their attention and get them to watch your presentation because you're offering things that other people aren't. So what I've done is I have taken some real professional abstracts. These were all published in the 2019 NCTE convention program. I do have the titles and the presenters listed. These were ones that jumped out at me as an audience member. So when I looked through the giant program and saw hundreds and hundreds of presentations, these are 3 that I wanted to attend. And it was just because of the title and the abstract. So what I'd like to do is go through each of them, and I'd like to point out some of the things that the authors did well that you can copy when you're drafting your abstract. This will be a fast and furious session where participants leave with 50 ideas for promoting writing in the classroom and building a community of writers. Each tip, strategy, resource, and mentor text shared will model real classroom practice in secondary classrooms. Come and fill your writing teacher toolbox with new ways to promote writing and support the writers in your classroom. When I read this, the topic is very clear. We're talking about writing in a high school classroom, but I've highlighted for you some of the descriptors and how they hooked me in. It's also really clear what the takeaway is. So if I go to this session, I'm going to get 50 ideas. This is a 62-word abstract, so it definitely falls into the correct length. Let's look at another. In today's connected world, it's no longer a question of whether or not students are using devices. It's about supporting students to create, reason, and connect responsibly. In this presentation, meet student voice standout. Hear how she's created a powerful global digital identity through vlogging, blogging, and podcasting. Again, the topic is very clear. This is about using technology in the classroom. And again, I've highlighted a lot of those words that really jump out as great descriptors and hook the reader. It's also clear what I'm going to take away from this presentation. I'm going to learn about vlogging, blogging, and podcasting. This is only a 49-word abstract, and it was still really able to grab my attention, and it was probably a very popular session at this convention. We're going to do one more. Observe the Folger method live, up close. Brand new to Shakespeare School, students work with this person from Folger Library. Our core activity that engages all students in Shakespeare effectively, starting deep inside the language. Result? Teachers are always astounded by how much students can figure out all by themselves. Topic is very clear, I'm talking about teaching Shakespeare, and the descriptors are very strong, how they're hooking in the reader with those words I've highlighted. It's also very clear what I'm going to take away as they actually say the result, and this is a 47-word abstract. What I did was I have now written a fake proposal for a SSWCA conference. So based on about 8 or 10 different conference proposals that I saw, I combined them, I synthesized them into this fake proposal. So this was not written by anyone other than me. I'm just mimicking some of the weaknesses that I think that are very easy to fix in the hopes of showing you how to craft a more effective abstract. These are difficult times as we live with a pandemic. Most of the abstracts that I saw start with some kind of acknowledgement about COVID. It's okay to acknowledge that, but everybody has the same situation. So everyone attending our conference knows that we're in a health crisis and knows about COVID-19. So I'm not really sure you need to waste your space on these. I'm not sure unless this is driving your content, this is really necessary. So unless you're actually talking about the pandemic, these are just wasted words. This sentence probably isn't even necessary. It's a little bit redundant. I'm going to assume most people know this. My presentation title is about mental health awareness. Again, don't waste your space putting your title in. Your title is going to be right above this paragraph. So I'm going to very clearly see your title, and if you put it twice, again, it's redundant. It's just wasting up your word space. So there's more that you can put in here to hook the reader other than just repeating yourself. I think the next sentence is okay. Writing is full of anxiety, especially when someone else is reviewing your work. I put this in because I would like to point out that it's okay to use the first and the second person. So it is okay to reference yourself as an I, and it's okay to reference your audience as the you. How can we make sure tutors can actually help? How do we help when we are tutoring remotely? These are rhetorical questions, but they're not driving the content. These are the questions that your audience already has. Rhetorical questions are designed to get your audience to think and actually engage. Your audience has these questions, they don't have the answers, so they're not going to engage with these questions in the way you think they do. If you're not sure how to use questions appropriately, I would recommend avoiding them. These are the questions your audience has, they know them. They want your answers. They're looking for your expertise. That's what you need to hook them in. This presentation will share some strategies when working with tutees with anxiety. I would say that that's a little vague. What do you mean by strategies? Most presentations are going to offer strategies. What makes your presentation special? The last sentence says, this lesson will be fun despite the serious topic as I provide personal anecdotes about this topic. I'm going to caution you against using the word lesson. If you think about the connotation of the word, lesson relates to school and teachers. That's not the most exciting arena for people. So we might just want to call this a presentation or a discussion. I think those words have a better connotation for you. And if you're going to have something that's fun, you need to say more than that. So what is going to be really exciting about your presentation that's going to draw them in? Everyone has personal stories that they can tell. Why are yours the ones I want to listen to? If I were to attend every presentation, it would probably take 15 or 20 hours. There's no way I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these paragraphs to really narrow in on the ones that are the most interesting to me and are going to provide me with the most insight and help. So you have one paragraph in order to do that and to prove that your presentation is worth giving time to. What I did next was I upgraded this fake abstract. So you're going to see the same idea for the fake proposal, but you're going to see that I've upgraded it. As we grapple with public health safety, it's no wonder that anxiety is surging, especially in high schools. In the first sentence, I nod at the pandemic, but I don't waste a whole sentence talking about something people already know, and I've made my topic clear. We're going to be talking about anxiety. As peer tutors, we are on the front lines and need real strategies for how to help our clients who may be in crisis. I've connected to the theme, which is from crisis to creation, and I'm using a lot of good descriptors and hooks to try to get the reader interested. In this presentation, I will offer 5 signs a client has anxiety and a 3-step strategy for what to do in that situation that may be life-saving for the client. Here are the takeaways. I'm not just going to give you strategies, but I've told you exactly what you're going to get out of watching my video presentation. And this ends up being a 71-word abstract. So if you look at this as compared to the first one that I put together, this is definitely upgraded. This would be a much more interesting presentation to attend based on this paragraph alone. So sell yourself. Think of it like a back of the book. Don't just summarize what you're going to say, but do it in a way that really makes the audience want to engage with your presentation. So let's just review. Your abstract must have your general topic being very clear. The examples I have on the screen are not your only options, of course. They're just examples. You really want to highlight your descriptors and your hooks, not literally highlighting them, but making sure that you're putting in words that are really going to grab the reader's attention and really going to show the reader how much you have to offer. You're going to make it clear what makes your presentation different from everyone else who is doing the same topic. So what will the audience learn, take away, or gain that's practical? You're going to be careful when you're using questions, hyperbole, and cliche. Again, if you're not using them to drive forward your content and engage the audience, they're not used appropriately and you should avoid them. And then you're going to check your word count. You should be somewhere between 40 and 100 words. I'm going to wish everybody luck as they craft and upgrade their abstracts. And I would like to just remind everyone, please check and be mindful of the due dates of submissions so that you don't miss anything and end up with some extra work later down the road. Thank you everyone so much.